It's a great honor for me to give you an introduction on some of our programs that are aiming to nurture social enterprises. During the first session, we heard some of the insights from academia. Professor Park, who's also working closely with us, made a brief introduction on social progress credit, and Commissioner An also talked a little bit about it. Let me go through some of the details of the program so that we can share some of the insights about our program's concept and some of the experience that we learned from the program, from the practitioner's standpoint. For those of you who are not familiar with the SK Group, SK is a very large conglomerate. We have three pillars of business. One is energy and petrochemical. Second, we have telecommunications, fixed and also mobile. And we have a semiconductor business. In case if you're using iPhone or iPad, most likely you're using one of our semiconductor. Annual turnover as a whole, about $150 billion, is similar size to GE. We are way beyond this notion of maximizing shareholder value. We defined the purpose of our business as to serve better our local community, making sure that all of our stakeholders can enjoy share the prosperity. SK is now alone. Look at all these companies, these great companies redefining the role of corporations in our society. Rather than seeking profit, we want to pursue the mission. Rather than defining objectives, we want to keep our orientation toward the greater goal. Rather than using the model to define our business objective, we want to define the mission to give more meaning to our business. Our choice of our mission is to harness the power of social entrepreneurship. Why? Because if done right, we can effectively tackle social problems in a sustainable business forms. Some of the examples that what we are doing. One is the Happy Lunch Box. We make direct investments on 28 distribution centers in Korea. They deliver 12,000 lunch boxes every day. We apply, standardized menu, solving the complexity of logistical issue, pushing the cost down, increase the quality, so it's real social value being delivered. Commissioner An talked about Happy Nare. We actually transformed one of our profit-seeking company into social enterprise. This particular company is designed to help social enterprises because they can source materials from social enterprise and sell to SK affiliates. We are even doing a lot of things in the educational field. We're trying to nurture new breed of leaders. We do have a contest, monitoring, and workshops and everything. We work with renowned academia to provide the scholarships for social entrepreneurship. Let me skip some of the programs. But are we doing enough? Are we providing enough resources to the social entrepreneurship sector? According to our friends, it's not. There is about $4 trillion in need, but we're actually providing not even the half. There are some of the challenges. So what we do? Our suggestion is social progress credit. What it is about if we can measure the social value created by the social enterprise and we can incentivize them based upon the value measured, then they can focus more on creating social value. Objective is not to provide the subsidy, but to nurture the capacity of social enterprise to finance themselves. Ideas being shared in many different occasions. Actually, these ideas came and suggested by our chairman, Choi. He even wrote a book about it, and thankfully, a Chinese version is available. Now, the management philosophy behind this, we want to materialize the social value by applying the general pricing system. We rather not want to have a perfect measurement system, but want to have something that we can agree upon. Water does not boil at 100 Celsius degree, nor freeze at 0 Celsius. We agreed to recognize the boiling point as 100 and the freezing point as 0. So the social value measurement is also something that we need to agree upon. It's not about scientific exercise to create the perfect measuring system. So the social value can be defined in many different forms. It can be subjective, it can be even sentimental. So what we came up with is the concept of social performance. We only want to recognize the performance that's been directly achieved through the business, value only been added compared to the best alternative available in the market, and lastly, we only want to recognize social value as something that's not being compensated in the marketplace. For example, if an unfortunate, underprivileged person is employed, this is income before employed, meaning that income being provided as a social welfare. That's the salary being provided once hired. If there is we subtract the government subsidy, in Korea there is usually the government subsidy program. Once the disabled are hired by social enterprise, some of the portion of the income being compensated by the government. So we only recognize the true value added. This is not something that we create the program and then we measure social enterprises. This is something that we work with about 50 social enterprises, and then we go through some of the very long process of agreement that we can reach to the measurement system. Last year, we launched the program. And then after launching the ceremony, the real work began. Look at the process of the workshops and meetings. It seems to be very painful, but it wasn't. This is a photo being taken through the workshop. They are really engaged and excited because once we can have some agreeable measurement system that can be spread out to the social sector, they can invite even more social entrepreneurs to participate in the program. This is one of the tangible outcome of our effort because we want to make the appraisal system available to the general public. We implemented an IT system. This is a homepage of our program, and this is our actual report. 1 year after the real achievement, 44 social enterprises have been measured. I want to say not measured. I want to say it's appraised. It's some of the different concepts they were applying. Among those 44 social enterprises that are eligible for first incentive, about $74 million already been compensated through the market system. About $10 million they been created as a social performance, but not recognized in the marketplace. We compensated about 25% of 10 million because we wanted to be more kind of, give you real monetary kind of incentive, equivalent to the small and medium-sized corporations' operating income level, about 3 to 4% of our revenue. And that we want it to be a little bit more than the usual cost of capital in Korea. This year, last month, the incentive been provided and the ceremony was held. The next step, we want to test out our measurement scheme for its robustness. So we want to invite 50 more so that we can have a cumulative number of 100 social enterprises participating in the program. Like I said, the purpose of this program is not to just provide subsidy. This is to nurture the capacity of our social enterprises being able to finance themselves from the mainstream capital market. So we want to create the design and implement investment vehicle. We talked a little bit about the blended, layered structure so that we can lower the risk, the overall, but being able to achieve some of the financial return expectations. And lastly, we want to continue to support academic research to back up the the theoretical foundation. We just took the first step on this long journey. I want to invite you all to participate and give us a constructive feedback and hold hand together to continue our journey. Thank you very much. 谢谢.